Pounders, welcome back. I am just getting back from Florida. My my vacation time is all up. I'm back. We've had quite a bit of news in the last 9 days. I've been trying to stay up to date the best I can. Oh my god. Mac Jones traded for a bag of half-eaten potato chips. I'll take it. I'll take it. Also rumored for the Patriots today, Calvin Ridley could be in the cards. Patriots have a ton of money. If they go QB at 3, they're probably going another wide receiver in the second round anyways. Kind of why I've had the rookies ranked over Demario Douglas. There's a lot that can happen with that amount of cap space in New England. That being said, on the other end, and we've had them both ranked green since the open of the big board. Christian Kirk, Evan Ingram, both severely undervalued. If Ridley goes to another city, man, those two about to get some big boost for both of them. Russell Wilson to Pittsburgh rumors. I sort of like this for George Pickens. They're also rumored to be shopping Deontay Johnson. Sneaky good for Pat Fry, who, yes, they're likely going to bring in another receiver, but fair price for Pat Fry in the 140s. Still, it's a fair price for, he's not going to be your tight end one, but in those 3 tight end builds, I don't think you can really go wrong. Again, like Russell Wilson, sneaky good at the deep ball, also good for George Pickens. So have to boost up Pickens a little bit. And if you guys haven't already, get the draft guide. Links in the description. Any tier of the Patreon or the Maxer on Patreon or on YouTube memberships gets you the guide. And I'm updating it every 25%. The big board's coming up on that 50% fill rate. I know everyone's super happy with, we've been smashing on the rookies. Crazy ADP values all over the place. My exposures, which I also show to both of those members every week, I have like one faller out of all my top expos. And it's like Lamar Jackson, 5 spots. So been feeling good. Been feeling real good this offseason. Also, I'm going to be including the CSV with this next update. I'm going to be doing that this weekend or this week. So it'll be out probably by Wednesday, Thursday. And yeah, I'm going to go through. We're going to do the rankings because now Underdog with their new update, I hope it goes to mobile soon. You're going to be able to sort by current ADP or your set rankings that you have in place. So now you'll easily be able to see who is a falling value. If you're falling on the sword, that could happen too. But you'll be able to switch between the ADPs that you put into place and Underdog's current ADPs. I think that's important. Now I do think it makes sense to have rankings and provide them to you guys. Before, I don't really think it does. And that's why the draft guide is ranked by their current ADP. What's their value at current ADP? I think that's still the best way to go ahead. Yeah, we got the Baker news, getting the bag, 50 million guaranteed up to what, like 130-ish, 115. Really good for Baker. They're, they have their pieces that, they want to build around. So he didn't get a super long deal, 3 years, but yeah, Mike Evans back in town. They made a pretty good playoff run. I know Drew's happy about that. So yeah, I'm glad he got the bag. Patriots resurgence. So it's gonna take a little time. Judy to Cleveland. It's gonna hurt Elijah Moore the most. Some people are bumping down Njoku. I don't feel the need to have to bump down Njoku. He's still gonna have that really nice single game ceiling, and he really started to spark at the end of last season. I don't think there's really any need for Judy to come in and us have to assume that he's going to get a 25% plus target share of this offense. I just don't. I almost am going to see this offense going through Njoku as that second favorite target still. So I'm comfortable with that. In the rookies, there is still room for these rookies to move. And it'll be interesting to see how aggressive people are drafting them. I've done around 20+ plus drafts in the last week on vacay. Couple pool drafts that you guys have been getting into with me as well. And yeah, these rookies, there's still plenty of movement and a lot of guys that we're high on. When do you cut the cord, right? Like, how much do they have to move in order for you to now go to another pick? When should you do that? Right? Like the rise of Ricky Pearsall from a 20th round guy who we had starred on the initial draft guide honorable mentions list, was even going drafted at first. He's now what, 170? Still taking him there. I still think this guy has plenty of room to move up. And you guys will see this in the rankings that I come out with this week. Other players like Roman Wilson, some of these rookies. Lad, shout out to Adam. Adam really called the Lad rise post combine. He put a bet on that he was going to smash the combine, and he did. And his stock's on the rise, rightfully so, and his tape speaks for himself. So, really good stuff. Let's pull up some of these current ADPs here. Make sure I'm on the right page. All right. Marvin Harrison, and yeah, he needs the Arizona landing spot. If the Patriots get wonky here, that'll be interesting. These rookies, they haven't been moving too much over the last week or so. We've seen Waddle move 10 spots since 26%. We're currently at like 47% fill rate. 10 spots. 10 spots. He's my number 2 owned wide receiver. He's in my top 3 for exposures at receiver. I'm starting to slow down a little bit, and I'm mixing other players in, but when we go through this list of wide receivers here, it'll be fun to rank these guys out in this tier because I do think, look how many that go in the same range. So that's going to be make or break for a lot of rosters value-wise. Next up's like Bowers, right? He's probably the next rookie. No, it's Brian Thomas Jr. because he's got some steam. Again, another guy we had ranked green on the last guide, and he's risen. He's risen to a spot where it's still fine. It's still fine. JSN's going to fall. You have Lockett re-signing for another 2 years. Lockett out there, and you can assume he got the bag. He got a good enough bag, we should say, with $15 million a year. You assume that he's going to be out there in 2 wide receiver sets. Now, last year, they played a lot of 3 wide receiver sets, but JSN was out there. He wasn't pulling targets. You can check the amount of games that he had 5 catches or more. It was around 4 or 5. Lockett is, in some cases, he was playing more snaps than DK. So Jason has to fall. He's a clear faller. And in this time, like Chris Godwin gets a small bump down because of the Evans signing. At the time, with the news that we had with Evans shopping around, Godwin was a good click. And there still is this wide receiver drop-off tier, so you're not going to see him fall. But and that was the best part about the Godwin click. It was safe. It was safe because he wasn't going to fall. There's no receivers in this range. So there's always teams that need receiver at this spot, and there's just such a big dead zone at receiver. And the community is desperate to put a wide receiver into this range, and no one knows who it's going to be. I'm hesitant to say it's going to be Troy Franklin, Jacoby Myers, Deontay Johnson. We'll see where Deontay Johnson ends up. Pittsburgh, anywhere but Pittsburgh's a good, pretty good spot, in my opinion. If he gets traded anywhere out of Pitt, he should rise from that. AD Mitchell had a crazy good combine. Crazy good. So we'll see where he ends up. Couple red flags on this dude, but I'm taking him over Worthy. Dude, this guy's getting like, and I was a big Worthy guy at 140, right next to Lad. We were double clicking these guys a lot, both ranked in green. But at 114, I'm seeing him being reached on still. And just last draft I got Jacoby Myers after Worthy's off the board. That 40 times not real. Like, he came in at what, like 165? Let's go. Welcome to the live stream, man. He came in at 165. You know he's got to put on weight. He's got to put on weight. And then it just seems risky. It just seems risky with landing spot. Like, very landing spot dependent, in my opinion, when you have a player of that size. So, man, the rookies have been steamed. Keon Coleman, like, this is not a bad time to now go to a player like Keon Coleman who's gotten no love because of maybe a mediocre output at the combine, but still has the profile of an NFL player. Dude's a beast. Lad McConkey still has room to move. Like, this is I'm still going Lad over Keon Coleman, don't get me wrong. But yeah, it's not bad to take some of those fallers right now. And one of them, because of, what was it, Matthew Berry's? Yeah, it was Matthew Berry's post-combine article he wrote. He had Mixon potentially leaving the Bengals. And I think it was taken out of context a lot, and it was pushed on as like, Matthew Berry reporting that, Mixon's not returning to the Bengals. Like, no, not quite. Not quite. So when Mixon fell because of that news, just because of that one article, I've gotten him at 104 recently, 99. You're getting players at a better price than those early drafters. There is a way to gain advantage by drafting now. It takes a little bit of thought, but he's not guaranteed to leave. He's not guaranteed to leave. Now, if he does, Chase Brown's he's gonna skyrocket up, probably into this range here. I would say maybe even a little ahead, maybe right ahead of like 72. I believe is where Chase Brown would probably end up if Mixon were to move on. So you do have to mix in a player like Chase Brown. It is tough to completely fade someone that has that potential upside with a veteran leaving. So I'm not saying you have to go crazy, but probably should be at 8% plus. Otherwise, you could be left in the dust. That rhymed. Didn't mean it to. Pretty cool. The dude is high at 2.0. And man, yeah. We'll see. Hyatt might actually surprise some people this year with, I believe he's moving back to the slot. Why is Kmet falling? I think it's other players rising ahead of him. Trey Benson being one of them, another guy we had ranked in the green. Yeah, I think it's players just moving ahead of him. Xavier Worthy moving ahead. So he's falling. People are also catching up to their Dalton Schultz shares because of the news that he re-signed in Houston. So you see people reaching on Schultz right now ahead of Kmet. It looks like it is trending that way, but again, it could just be the field being behind on Schultz. So you do see this small slide on Kmet, which honestly is fine. I'm still in on Kmet at this price. Judy Cleveland at 133. I'll be interested to see where he goes tonight because this seems rich. This seems rich. Even under Deshaun Watson, like, this is still going to be a run first team. So, man, I'm fade on Judy still, and fade on Elijah Moore still. But good news. We are going to find out where these players go, and we're going to find out right now. And we get CeeDee Lamb. Head to the draft room. All right, who's in here with us? We got Eric in the 6th spot. Farachi, Logan at 10. That might be it. If you guys snuck in here with us, let me know where you're at, and I can shout out your squad. I think that's it for Pounders in this one. This could be to our benefit. This could be to our benefit. So right here, so they did change the layout a little bit. It's not live on mobile, but if we do have our own rankings in place, they will be right here. So I will be making that part of the next update on the draft guide, which is coming roughly at 50% fill rate. So it's the perfect time to hop on right now. Get the best bang for your buck. And guess what? If you don't like it, you can just cancel the Patreon and it costs you $7 for something that's going to provide way more value than $7. That's a fact. Breece Hall at 6. It seems like every time I get the 6 spot, Breece Hall goes early. He's someone that I really can't catch up on his my exposure to him. So it's going to be interesting, and that's just because I've been getting a lot of back half drafts, and it'll be pretty cool to actually go through and see the numbers on this. But it's going to have to come out of one of these 3-player shares because I want to be at least at field with Breece, at least at field. Bijan at 7 before Monra, which I don't mind. I pretty much want to be even on those two as well. And we've had some other rumors like Kirk Cousins. We've had the Justin Fields rumors, of course. Like, where's this dude going to land? One of them's Minnesota now. It was the latest potential. There's Vegas. Atlanta's the one I think that everyone wants. But now we're seeing potential of Kirk Cousins going to Atlanta. That'd be huge. And Kirk Cousins loves his tight ends. Kirk Cousins created TJ Hawkinson. Farachi, what's up, my man? Adam, welcome to the live stream. Let's go. Call your boy loud. By the way, thanks a ton for the advice you gave earlier. I'm the guy you asked on Discord earlier about smart bankroll management for my first Underdog off season. You're welcome. I wrote an absolute novel. So sorry about the novel, but I'm glad it helped. Finally got it. Where's he at? Gibbs? What? You don't have a ton of Gibbs here? Is this a problem you've been having? Too many front end drafts? Those tiers are not allowed to be shed here in this stream. You can take those tiers somewhere else. I've been getting too many 1 spots. Bendels, welcome to the live stream, my man. What are the pre-draft tourneys left? Just big board superflex. I believe they're going to do a rookies and sophomores at some point. I thought that came out earlier than. Oh, it's probably around this time. It's tough to just even compare this year to last year with just how early we started drafting. So it feels like the rookies and sophomores was already out, but it probably wasn't yet. JT at 17 with a Monra. This would be really good for Addison. I would say Addison's someone I am fading in that range. I do think Kirk Cousins would probably be the best outcome for these receivers right now. Because what's the alternative, right? They're probably going to bring in a rookie. So we'll see. And then you have Hawkinson, who obviously not healthy right now, but expected to be healthy towards the end of the season, or we're expecting to be at least. So maybe you get a small bump down on a player like Addison. Let's bring in Rice here. Go double receiver. We'll be an ADP slave. I will go Barkley too with this team too. I've been trying to catch up on my Barkley shares. If not, we will do something funky. Yeah, it looks like we do get Barks. Okay. Get him at 26. Feels good. Feels good. Feels good. I just like the outcomes for Barkley too. He should end up somewhere where he's going to be the workhorse. Bindles, anytime, dude. Hit me up on Twitter, and we can get that going. Jalen Waddle, 4-pick reach to 27. Pairs him with Josh Allen and Tyreek. Jamar Chase, Diggs, and Laporta. So nothing too crazy just yet. Small reach up to get this double here, but I think that's honestly smart. And then maybe even going for a week 17 correlation game with Miami Buffalo. Just for the big brains in the chat. Ayuk, Dell, and Brees, Evans, Adams, and Jefferson. Yeah, no one's getting out of line here. No one's getting out of line. Everyone's got their hall pass right now. Show me your hall pass. All right, our next pick is at 47 and 50. And a lot of players in this range have not moved all that much besides who? Tank Dell from the start, obviously. Drake London, Waddle has moved a ton. 10 spots is a lot for early movement. It takes a lot more for players to move up in these early rounds rather than the later rounds. They can move up very fast. Neighbors, DK, Drake London. Curious what you guys think about the Lockett signing and DK, whether that is a small negative, doesn't move the needle at all, or it's slightly on the good side, which I can't imagine. Lamar Jackson at 35. Fading the receivers here at the 11 spot. And this got to be what? Zay Flowers? Yeah. Jalen Hurts, ETN on the back end with A.J. Brown, Garrett Wilson. Logan has DJ Moore, Drake London, and Gibbs, which I really like this start. Adds in Keenan Allen. Really like this start. Small news that the Chargers were shopping Keenan Allen and Mike Williams, which is interesting that they would try to move Keenan. We'll see what ends up going on there. Yeah, this is a smart question too. What's your outlook for Eric Gray? He's not someone that got a lot of work last year because of an injury. So there is some unknown there. I think if you need just a dart throw at running back, you're trying to find basically a handcuff right now in that range. The ADPs are sharper in the 20th round. So I have found myself adding in Eric Gray as a click. And I think it's fine. I think everyone assumes that Barkley's leaving. He wasn't tagged. Eric Gray is probably one of those guys that does rise when the Barkley news officially comes. So to draft him now in the 20th it's not a bad idea. Especially get a little like late Daniel Jones in like the 18th round. Pair it with Eric Gray. It gets gross, but I've seen grosser. ER7 coming in here with the super chat. Appreciate you, dude. 2023 was great at Pounders. Let's go 2024. Love how you always explain your picks. Big brain emoji. Appreciate you, dude. The support's been unreal. This is an interesting spot here because we could get this with Rice and then really bury ourselves at receiver. If I take Kelsey here, does this dude? I have to take Kelsey. I don't take Mahomes because he can just go Kelsey. It makes less sense to go naked Mahomes. We just got to click and pray. I won't even be that mad if he takes Mahomes too, though. I really won't. Honestly, I think you have to bump Kirk and Pickens up above CJ Stroud at least, probably above Walker. I'd have these rankings all twisted up. Oh, jeez. I thought he was just about to auto pick 2 in a row. That would have been the dagger. I'm not super high on Mahomes in this range, but when you can get the double, come on. We'll take it. We'll take it. All right, we are going to have to, and we're gonna get in trouble here at 71. You already know. Like DeAndre Hopkins is gonna be gone. So we're gonna be forced to probably take our second tight end. We'll stop at 2 tight ends. We'll probably pick up a second running back. And then we're gonna really have to go probably 4 wide receivers in a row, starting here, which is a good range for receivers, also a good range for receivers if the right people fall. Thank God Adam's not in this draft. That's all I can say. At least there's a chance. How much does QJ move up if both Chargers leaves? This is another good point. The dude was such a project, though. He was not good. And then when he had his opportunity to make like a half decent catch, he just didn't. So if they do get rid of Keenan Allen, if they do get rid of Mike Williams, which I assume they only get rid of Mike Williams and they keep Keenan Allen, it's a team that also needs a running back. It's hard to imagine that they get rid of Keenan Allen. But if they do, they're going to have to bring in receivers. So it'd be interesting. Are we doing something like the Patriots here where you get rid of Jacoby Myers and you bring in Juju? Like, is that because that's dumb. That's just dumb. They should keep Keenan Allen. He would still rise, even though it's news that hasn't broken yet. Mike Williams not returning. But once he does leave, you probably do get that small portion of drafters that don't know that's a possibility. We'll see that little news note, the little red note. And yeah, Quentin Johnson will get some stupid write up like expected to have larger role in 2024. Just clickbait everyone. But yeah, it depends on how much you're weighing ADP value. There's some players that I will just fade even if there is a chance that they will rise because I'm just not in on that player. Oh, this is disturbing. Yeah, if you played it the same way, it's the only thing you can do is go Kelsey there first. You have to really ask that guy, what girl? Do you really want naked Patty here? Maybe they do. Maybe they do. Not for me. All right. Derrick Henry off the board. Logan brings in Aaron Jones, Chris Godwin. Yeah, we are not going to get. Even if Hopkins is there, I have to take Hopkins. I feel like if he's not, we're not reaching up. George Pickens, JSN, like this. Yeah, Brian Thomas Jr. That would have been a prayer if he was there. That would have been an absolute prayer answered. He should probably be going before Godwin at this point. It's close. He should definitely be going before JSN. That's a fact. Thing with Brian Thomas Jr. is expected to be the 4th wide receiver off the board. The further you go back in the draft, the better the teams get. If he gets a landing spot like Buffalo, like where do you put Brian Thomas Jr. with the possibility that he ends up in Buffalo? On the moon. Put him on the moon. Such an interesting spot here. DeAndre Hopkins is an easy click for me, but if we have to choose between uh-oh. Cool. We get D-Hop. We'll bring in a little dusty receiver here. I'm cool with it. And this is also tricky here. Like Bowers before Ingram, I have a good amount of Bowers. I still think this is wrong. Second QB, there's Dak there. We're really where I feel like where we have Mahomes. Let's go Ingram here. This is gonna open up Trevor Lawrence too at a better price than Dak. and we're done at tight end. So again, this saves a roster spot. Sure, Dak would have saved the roster spot too, but I'm probably just going 2 QBs with Mahomes. If I go Mahomes and Trevor Lawrence, if I go Mahomes and Will Levis, I think that is a little on the thinner side in a 20-round draft, but you can still do it. If we go Kelsey and then a late tight end like Chiggy, I'm not as comfortable with that. So that's the difference. I think you do end up saving a roster spot more times than going to QB there, just because of that drop off at tight end, probably at Schultz here with Kelsey. You could say Mayer if you expect him to be used more this year, or Pat Fry with Russ and maybe Deontay Johnson leaves. But 20-round drafts, I like to be a little stronger at tight end, a little stronger at QB, and then really hit on running back, really hit that receiver. Oh, dear God, no. Oh, please, no. We don't need Golden State Chiefs. Yeah, Kevin. God, I hope not. I won money, like, so Massachusetts had their sports betting open up last year, last February to March, where you got that bonus of 200 if you sign up, and then $100 for each person you got to sign up. I got all my buddies to sign up. I had, like, $600 in bonus bets last February to March, and what I did was I bet on Super Bowl favorites because I'm a sicko. I waited a full year to get that money back. At 100 on KC plus 650. I still had San Fran too for, I had San Fran for 450 if we won. I still would have rather San Fran win. Sorry. Matthew Johnson may end up at KC. That would be nutty. He's a honestly, he's a good value where he goes, in my opinion. If he ends up in Buffalo, yeah. I know you can say that about anyone, but there is at least what seems like a stronger chance for Brian Thomas Jr. to fall to the mid end of the first round, that 20 plus range. Spoke him into existence. Rachi, he got the bug and takes him at 89. That stings, dude. That stings. That stings. Now that we did get D-Hop, we could go RB and receiver. We want Kyle Pitts to come off the board. This guy knows I have 2 tight ends, so he only has to worry about this guy, really. I have to queue up because this is being a little laggy. Let's go who'd he pick? He went Franklin. Can't go Franklin over Myers. I just refuse to do it. I refuse to do it. Jacoby Myers, welcome to the team. I do think there's a tear drop off between Connor and Warren. Connor, clear RB1 on his squad. Jalen Warren really needs an injury to Najee to hit his ceiling. That being said, I don't think he's a bad pick, but all right. Can T-Law fall 119? Will depend on the Kirk team. Where's the Kirk squad? Where's the Kirk squad? Okay, we get James Conner here. What a gift, in my opinion. 13 picks after ADP. Happy. I'm happy. All right. Kirk's on the A-Rich team. Probably not getting by Farachi at 113, maybe even 104 reach up. This team brings in Tua. He's got the double. He's probably stopping at 2 QBs. Rashad White and Alvin Kamara. Troy Franklin, Amari Cooper, Waddle, and Tyreek Hill. It's a good start. It's balanced. I just think Troy Franklin's so expensive. And I had the very early comp of Tyquan Thornton, and people sort of laughed at it. This dude's being comped to Tyquan Thornton all over the place. It's a little scary. It's a little scary. Dude, the slide on Kyle Pitts, the one time I go 2 tight ends before Ingram and Kyle Pitts is sliding 15 picks. Come on. Oh my god, to the team that needs a tight end. What a gift. What a gift. Damn, this team's gonna be strong. This team's gonna be a problem. DRB 92 if he can balance this out. I don't love the Eckler pick, but this team still has a really good start. And you have the small potential of Fields to Atlanta too, which is always nice. Very cool. Logan's up. Yeah, give me that discount. Give me that discount. Farachi says his wide receiver room needed help. I don't blame you because he wasn't making it back to you, so it makes sense. It makes sense. He honestly he very easily could be the guy that kinda bridges this wide receiver gap. T-Law goes at 109. Oh, Farachi punching the air right now. I'm punching for you. That's with ETN, minimal. I like that. Minimal. Maybe didn't wanna get hit by the QB avalanche, but he already had Jalen Hurts, so you can go Jalen Hurts +1. Like, much would have rather Rodgers with this group, probably at pick 132 or 133, and that's free. You could wait again to 156. It's not like Roger yeah, I don't know. Could also have gone Drake May potential to Washington, so that gives you 2 outs at 156 between Rodgers and May. I would have liked that better with Jalen Hurts. This is just maybe he doesn't like the range of players that go there, and Trevor Lawrence is probably the safer clip in that range. Alright, I know who we want, but is he gonna come to us? Thank God I got my Trey Benson early. I still think this ADP is fine for him. He's off the board. We'll bring in Ladd here at 119. Potential to KC would be really neat. It'd be really neat for this team. Lock it off the board. Where we have 2 RBs here too, we could bring in Brooks in this spot. We don't need him to start the season. One of these is fine. We're taking tight ends off the board. QB, we can target Will Levis. We can target yeah, I think we can bring in Brooks here, and that's fine. I just like having this base of 2 RBs. Another pairing I like with Brooks too is bringing in someone like Jerome Ford Jr. who can maybe bridge that early portion of the season with Nick Chubb returning from injury. Not even guaranteed to be a Brown, but if he does return to the Browns, Jerome Ford expected to have a larger role early in the season, could maybe Jonathan Brooks while he is catching up on his injury status. Oh dear, I didn't see this. I didn't see what happened with Goff. Goff went at 112. Oh dear. Oh, oh dear. Doesn't have the Porta. Oh, oh dear, it's his first QB. I think he's just like, "Alright, maybe he has Jared Goff as a good value in this range." Who are you gonna pair your QBs? Philly's gone. This should be Staffy all day. With Puka, this should be Staffy all day. And Stafford 80 ADP is after 124, and he goes to this team doesn't even have Cup. Alright, this room's going wild right now. Just do whatever you want, snipe all the stacks. This guy likes the Judy landing spot in Cleveland. It's getting weird. It's getting weird. I feel good about my stack now. I feel good about my double. Schultz and Kyle Pitts is a good combo. This is probably the last combo of tight ends I would pair together to stay at 2. I like this. I think it does kinda end at this Schultz threshold, and he pairs it with CJ Stroud, really nice. With Nico, telling you, the 7th spot is killing it. Just this Eckler so questionable. Oh, Jerome Ford off the board. Pat Fry off the board. Good, good. Oh, Sharp sniped 1 pick before. We can go Kendre here. I really like Roman Wilson. I'm going Roman Wilson over these guys. Just hoping to get basically one of these 3. We're fine with it. We're fine with it. Khalil Herbert at 146, basically right at ADP. Again, this team just seems super balanced right now. I don't have a lot of options for late round stacks. Not that we can't create it. We have Levis with DeAndre Hopkins. Probably want a 3rd QB with that combo though, which is fine because we're saving a spot on tight end. I'm comfortable with this receiver group. We're pretty balanced right now. So, with that being said, I do think we're gonna have a luxury pick, which is probably gonna be a 3rd QB. Doesn't necessarily have to be correlated. Maybe it's just an advance rate click, someone that is a good value for their ADP. Rodgers goes at 150. So, this guy would have been sniped. Where is he? The 12th spot. He would have been sniped on Rodgers here, but would Drake May have made it back? You don't know. Like, if he doesn't go Trevor Lawrence, maybe one of these teams ends up not picking Rodgers or whatever. Mayer off the board at 152. I like this ADP for Mayer. Marvin Mims gonna be a small riser off of news that was already expected. Like, we knew more likely than not that Judy was leaving. I don't know how you give a bump to Mims with that. Now with the coach speak, maybe that in addition to Judy leaving, but that's where, like, some stuff that hasn't happened, but it is expected to happen, you will get that ADP rise from those players. He goes his 3rd QB. This is this is really gonna change the room, I think. He goes Judy and Watson here. I still think Judy has to fall, though. Is anyone selecting Judy? Let me know in the chat. Are you guys selecting Judy at ADP around 133? I think that's gross. I like McLaughlin. I have a ton of McLaughlin. I will never stop clicking Roman Wilson Adam. He's a good receiver. We've been clicking him since 190. I'll never stop. Ricky Pearsall get this freaking heat. 161. Yeah. He was someone that I think belonged in the 150s near Xavier Worthy. But now that Worthy goes at 111, I'm off Worthy and keep clicking Ricky on the back end. Ricky's in my top 3 exposures for receivers. Tied with DJ DJ Moore? Let me see if that's right. Mooney, Waddle, Ridley, Pearsall, Burton. Alright, we're on the clock. Stop messing around. This area is gross. I don't necessarily wanna bring in another rookie receiver right here. We could do something like this. We could go Derek Carr. People probably want Devontae Walker, but you can just wait. I think Levis comes back to us at 191. It's right at ADP. If he gets sniped, he gets sniped. Let's go Curtis Samuel with this one. Zay Jones, I like Zay Jones at this ADP, but I think there's a higher chance that Curtis Samuel ends up in KC, which would be better for this team. I think there's a better chance if Ridley moves on that they re-sign Zay Jones, and then we'd have a double in Jax without Trevor Lawrence. I don't know. I think there's a couple things working that makes me wanna click Curtis Samuel free agent there, but I do like the Zay Jones click right now with the Ridley unknown. Yeah, here we go. I'll take Judy at the 170, 180. No, no, I really think it feels like a fade on Judy, feels like a fade on Elijah Moore. I think it hurts them both. Yeah, I like Rashawn Johnson a lot too this season, but Khalil Herbert at 145, you're getting handcuff running backs in that range anyways, with the chance that he does have more red zone trips with the QB that maybe isn't as dysfunctional, QB that doesn't run as much. I could see it worked for both running backs this year. But yeah, like, look where you're getting Algier. He's a handcuff. It's 5, 6 picks, although I think this is a rise. But if Jalen Wright's there, I'm thinking Jalen Wright. Kendra's there, I like Kendra, but, it's still a fine ADP for someone that should have a change of pace type role, whether that's is there a world in which Khalil Herbert gets less than 30%? I don't think so. I think he'll be in that 35 to maybe 55% range. Maybe he gets the majority. I don't think it's fully guaranteed that Rashawn goes in and completely dominates the shares. I think we could very easily see something like 60-40. Which, sure, maybe he's not the highest upside in that range, but where I know I'm gonna be bringing in more rookies at running back. I already have Jonathan Brooks who's gonna start slow. I think the click is fine for this build. If you need upside, like and Jalen Wright was there, it is the Jalen Wright click, but we have so much Jalen Wright anyways. He's on my front page of running backs, so I haven't clicked him as of late, but he still has room to move. He should be ahead of Blake Corum, that's for sure. Derek Carr off the board, okay. I hope Levis is there, or we can go naked Jones, which is fine. But I feel like Levis and, like, Bryce Young always get sniped in this spot where you're like, "Okay, I'm gonna pair Will Levis late," then they just randomly okay. We spoke it into existence, it didn't happen. Honestly, like, can do this. Can do this. See if he comes to us. Not crazy about this range, don't need anyone in this range. I like Baker. Could go Mingo and Bryce Young. Okay, Baker's gone. So that makes me want to do this click even more. And then how many picks do we have? We've 3 picks left after this. I don't think we need more than 1 at running back. We can add a second. It's gonna be a luxury pick. Depends if we want 2 receivers or 1 receiver, really. Probably 2 receivers. I'm leaning 2 receivers here and 1 running back. And honestly, like, I think it's pretty well balanced. So for the listeners, Patrick Mahomes with Rice and Kelsey. Also QB Levis, Daniel Jones, Kelsey and Ingram at tight end, Barkley, Connor, Jonathan Brooks, Khalil Herbert, Ray Davis. Receivers, CeeDee Lamb, Rashee Rice, DeAndre Hopkins, Jacoby Myers. So we did get boxed a little early, bringing in Mahomes and Kelsey in those early rounds. But I think we get lucky here again in Hopkins at 71 for this build. If we don't get Hopkins, our our build changes. We would have to force receiver somewhere earlier. Myers, McConkey, Roman Wilson, and Curtis Samuel. So I'm gonna add 2 receivers and 1 running back to this group. And that's where I'd rather go Daniel Jones here at QB in this round than hope for, like, JJ McCarthy to be there on the way back around, and then just get my receiver and running back late. So that's the benefit of being like, "Yeah, I can skip this range of skill position players and maybe still get someone back that I like." Levis is this year, Sam Howell. I mean, either way, this is gonna be starting. Who's gonna be threatening his job? And then at the end of the season, if this team is that's under 500, Levis is probably going to be playing. Develop this QB. Same thing with Bryce Young, though. Like, to have certain games from these guys does feel good. They're probably a little undervalued. Carolina needs a sharpest line. Tennessee needs a sharpest line too. The Giants as well. Both both of these teams. Alright, I have my eye on a few people, and then maybe we get a little late round sneak peek. Yeah, I don't wanna bring in Chiggy with just don't need a 3rd tight end. I don't think Chiggy really does anything for this group. Sure, it's correlated, but we're if he's on the board, I'm just leaving that. Oh, dude. Judy's gotta fall. It just it's sort of a run first team anyways. Deshaun Watson, it's not like this guy was stellar when he was on the field. Yeah, he was ranked in the red before, and he's gonna be ranked in the red for a while. Dude, alright. Let's say Ridley hits free agency. Who else? Who are your next 3 favorite free agents at receiver? Mooney's in that conversation. Where you're getting him in the 19th, 20th round, you have seen him rise. He used to be completely free in the 20th round. You're not expecting him to be a wide receiver 1 on a team. You don't need him to even be a wide receiver 2 on a team. You're drafting Mooney to be a wide receiver 3 on a team. I think he can easily do that. If you get guaranteed wide receiver points that late in a draft, I think that's honestly a cheat code when you pair that with upside rookies, and that's what I think there is maybe a wrong way to be adding him to teams. We're gonna hope for Jalen here. Could mix in here too. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Craft. Auto draft craft. Okay, cool. Awesome. Yeah, I would love for Mookie to be there right now to support 3 rookies, maybe start a little slow. I think he's I think he's an asset on a great build. Yeah, this feels right. Yeah, this also feels right. Team playmakers said I'd take Judy at the 19-20 turn. I love that. I love that. You gotta set a price. You gotta set a price. I've been slowly trying to catch up with AJ Dillon shares. Is there a world in which AJ Dillon can land somewhere and have the duties of 1st and 2nd down or have the duties on of the goal line? It's small. It's small, but I still think there's a chance, and yeah, sure, this isn't the guy that really falls forward all that much, but, he's huge. Like, at the end of the day, like, some teams do want a power back like that. Buffalo's been trying to find one forever, and we know what happened to Damian Harris. He went from 165 last year to, like, 119. It didn't work out. Then they bring in, like, Latavius Murray. Like, Buffalo's a team that I could see trying to bring in a power back to just complement James Cook. Also think, like, an Audric Estime makes sense to Buffalo. That could be one that I'd be like, "Shit, I need some more shares." Right now, I'm definitely under on Estime, but he's been falling, and now drafting now, you're getting him at a better price than early drafters. I don't think it's the worst thing in the world to bring in a falling Estime at, like, 3%. So we bring in AJ Dillon and Jalen McMillan. Last click, receiver. Dude, I want Tim Patrick to be a thing. I want Tim Patrick to win a Super Bowl. Who do we have at QB? We have Levis, Jones, Cedric Tillman's like after Judy comes in, Cedric Tillman's basically you just, like, cross him off. Ben Sinnott's a nice little addition here for this team. Just got the word from Underdog NFL, Kirk Cousins appears likely to test free agency. Vikings remain in communication. Testing the market? Alright, Tim Patty has an ADP. 24% Tim Patrick 2 years ago, 36% advance rate, but he was like a 16 round guy. And then last year, I think I had 7 or 8% again. I just I don't know if I can do it 3 I don't know if I can do it 3 years in a row. Hull off the board, JJ McCarthy off the board. He gets a nice little slide, 17 picks, 27 picks, 27. Eric brings in Kendrick Bourne, someone I was looking at. Not that I even really love the click. There are no receivers in this range that I really am clicking, like, every single time. Like, I'm mixing in Parker Washington. I think that's fine. I like Smith's profile. Do we wanna add another rookie to this group? I like Taj Washington as well, but needs to end up on the right team with his size, stature. Ooh, ooh, ee, ee. Yeah, this is basically it, maybe minus the thighs. Minus the thighs. Thrash is fine too. Let's take someone that's not being drafted all that much. And then we'll review this real quick. Holy Cross, shout out. Worcester. Worcester, Massachusetts. Yes. This is funny. This is funny. I love me some Steve Smith. After all, he was right about Judy. You guys haven't seen the chirp from Steve Smith to Judy while he's on field, and he was announcing or he's doing his pregame thing. Oh my god, it's so good. It's so good. Yeah, no, Adam definitely wins. Adam definitely wins. He had the lad call out early. He said how he was gonna rise too. He said it was gonna happen after the combine. Exactly what happened. I was just glad I had my 15%. It wasn't enough. At least wasn't behind on him. Alright. We end up with Mahomes, Levis, Jones at tight end, Kelsey and Ingram, which is more than enough. Barkley, Connor, Jonathan Brooks, Khalil Herbert, Ray Davis, and AJ Dillon. CeeDee Lamb, Rasheed Rice, DeAndre Hopkins, Myers, McConkey, Roman Wilson, Curtis Samuel, Jalen McMillan, and A. Smith. Karachi drafting in the 8th spot. A-Rich and Jaden Danielson plays it a little thinner at QB, but he's leaning into A-Rich's draft capital. We're taking him as the top 5 QB, top 4 QB. You lean into that and it hits, and then you pair it with someone else who also has rushing upside, and if they hit, you could be on your way. Bowers, Mayer, and Henry, I think this is fine, especially Hunter Henry could resign with the Pats. Jane Daniels could end up in the Pats, so might be trying to go for some New England correlation there. Jonathan Taylor, James Cook, Blake Corum, Estime, J.K. Dobbins, and Evan Hull. Whew. I don't know if for me, if it's the best fit for J.K. Dobbins. I'd probably want more guaranteed touches, maybe just one more receiver other than a rookie in this range. But, maybe field earlier, or maybe estimate ends up with the first and second down role, or maybe a goal line role somewhere early, and this could work. Monrod, Neighbors, Christian Kirk, Deontay Johnson, Jameson Williams, AD. We got Ricky Pearsall at 161, which is nice. Malik Washington, Johnny Wilson. It's a nice draft. It's balanced. I like the capital. Really spent everywhere. Really leaning into the rookies on this team, but you have good floor to Johnson, or at least should. Amon-Ra, same thing, and Christian Kirk. If Ridley leaves, the Neighbors, we're basically I think everyone's drafting Neighbors as if he's going to produce right away. He's going to end up on a team. He's gonna be their wide receiver 1. Just don't end up on the Giants. Logan in the 10 spot, Justin Herbert and Caleb Williams, which is a nice pairing. Njoku, Juwan Johnson, Noah Fant, and Zach Ertz. I think I'm stopping here. Let's say Noah Fant gets a good landing spot. I don't think you need the 4th tight end. Jahmyr Gibbs, Aaron Jones, Rashawn Johnson, Jaleel McLaughlin, Tony Gibson, Will Shipley, and Chris Rodriguez. I like this RB group. 7 RBs. DJ Moore, Drake London, Keenan Allen, Chris Godwin. So he's got his 4 before Godwin. Xavier Worthy, Jahan Dotson, Wicks. Nice. Like, this is I'll draft Wicks here. Like, I'll draft him at 159. I'll mix him in. 133? How can you expect guys, guys, who's who's in on Wicks? Who's got over 8% Wicks in the chat? Because someone's priced wrong, and it's likely multiple people in Green Bay are priced wrong. Between Reed, Dobbs, C-Watt, we're drafting the wide receiver 4 on Green Bay at pick 133? Guys. Now at 159, fine, fine, because otherwise I'll end up with none. So I would probably click him there for just being a value hound, but it does make me question. And then we're drafting both tight ends before pick 200, like, it's just someone has to miss, and it's likely 2 people have to miss. I know a lot of people are hoping it's what? Could be, but it could be multiple. Alright. I haven't told you to hit the like button one time. On the way out, if you enjoyed tonight's live stream, please go down, hit the like, leave a comment, subscribe to the channel if you guys are new. I appreciate you guys, and I'll catch you on the next Pounders.